This video is about working with jobs in Red Rhino. I'm on the home page of Red Rhino here. This is how it presents when you log in. I'm going to click on the job drop down here, accordion menu, and it opens it up to different features of job. Now, first of all, I'm just going to show you how to get help for this, okay? It's really important. Click on help up here, and it opens the help table of contents. I'm going to scroll down here, look for job or jobs, okay? So there it is. You click on the little arrow to the right. Now here's where the help is to understand about jobs. Okay, enough about that. Now I'm going to just plow ahead and show you how this works. I'm going to close that window. I already have a video about the navigation from this panel opening. I'm just going to go ahead and create a job. Now there's two different ways that you can create a job in Red Rhino. Okay, you can create one from scratch, or you can create one from a proposal. Now I'm going to just in this video cover how to create a job from a proposal, but let me explain what it does. Once I create that job, the financials from the estimate and the proposal are going to be tracked in the job. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute, but then I can attach change orders to the job and do invoices to the job, and that's the purpose. A job in Red Rhino is a document that tracks all kinds of information related to the job, again, like change orders and invoices. Okay, let me get started now. I'm going to click New Job, and a window opens, and it gives me a choice: either create the job from scratch and select the customer, or to create the job from a proposal and select the proposal. Again, that's the one I'm going to cover right now. There's already an estimate in my Red Rhino with a proposal, and I can create a job from here. Now, I can also just go to the proposal and create the job, okay? So I'm showing you this panel from the home page of how I would create a job, and I would just click on this create the job from the proposal. Okay, now I'm just actually going to go to the proposal and show you where that button is there. Okay, now I'm viewing a proposal of an estimate that I did. Of course, I input materials into the estimate. The estimate has a recap, and there's job information in the recap. Now, again, I'm digressing here, but this is important. So see, I just opened the proposal here, and I can create a job from here. Okay, now in this example, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I showed you the other way we could do it. I'm just going to go right to create job from this proposal. When I do, it'll open up and give me more choices here. Okay, so here it says you're creating a job from the following proposal, and then it shows the name of the proposal here. This is one I created an example just for this purpose of training here. Okay, now down below there's a drop down. It says select a department code. Now I have another video that trains you or shows you, pretty easy to do, to select a department code. I'm going to click the drop down here, and if you haven't created any departments, then of course you'll just select none. But I'm going to click the drop down. You'll see that I created a department for service, construction, and low voltage. Now this is a commercial electrical project. I'm going to click on construction here. And then it just says continue here. So I'm going to continue, and it opens up a new page. Now let me just scan this page with you real quick just to show you what's gone on here. Okay, now the program here populated a lot of information for me, but I still have some work to do here. Anything with an asterisk here is a required field. I have to type that in. But let me just scroll down real slow. At the top is the job information. Okay, below that, it already selected the customer because the proposal had the customer listed there. Let me scroll down a little bit further. This is information where you would fill out where the shipping information is. Okay, and what I mean by that is if you're going to order materials and have them shipped to the job site, you make sure that this information contains the job site information with phone number, contact information, and everything. And again, this is useful later on in your process of working with this job. Now let me scroll down a little bit further. This automatically populates information from the proposal, but it's important for you to populate this accurately. So when you create a job, you want to find out first who the lender is on that job, okay? You might have to submit paperwork to the lender to guarantee payment. In California, you actually file a I should say you file paperwork so that you have lien rights. You want to make sure that you know who the owner is so you have contact information for them if you need to contact them for any reason. Most of this information here is just a guaranteed payment, okay? Now the general contractor, of course, you populate or make sure that's populated properly because you're going to do billing with the general contractor. Now further down, you can also select information on vendor information, okay? Now here's what you have to do on vendor information. You'll click the drop down here. Okay, it's the only thing you can select. You'll select generic vendor. Now, just for starters, you'll just want to do that in each case here for the fixture vendor name and the switchgear vendor name, generic vendor. Okay. Now, last but not least here, I scroll down further and it shows the financials. This is the financials right from the estimate. It shows the number of labor hours. This is information again. When I estimated, it populates to here. So I'm giving you a quick overview of this. I'm actually going to fill this out and show it to you in a minute here. But notice that it populated the amount of labor here. This is the budget for my labor. This is my material cost, $12,953. That's in the estimate. This is the amount of sales tax, quoted material. I have $2,925 in the estimate worth of quotes, and so on. Now it also shows over here the overhead amount and profit amount. Now the reason that this is useful to you is that eventually you're going to create invoices and it will track the finances. You can create change orders and you can track the change orders from here. Okay, now the only other thing I want to tell you is they're working to change this to best discount, but always do this, okay, before you're saving it. Make that best discount. Okay. Now, again, it already populated change order defaults in here from the customer that I selected. Okay, now next screen, I'm just going to fill the information out and save it, and I'll show you that. Now, with regard to job number, a lot of people have defaults that they use, okay? So you can assign any job number you want to this. If you try and assign the same job number as a different one, it won't save. So it'll tell you so. So I'm just going to go ahead and proceed now. Okay, now as I'm filling this out, I just put the date today for the job number, and I filled out the job name. This is a commercial estimate that I did. Now, when you get a purchase order from your customer, you want to make sure that's in here because you'll bill against that purchase order in the future. And then job type, this is a contract type job. But if you're creating these from scratch, you can also create a time and material. Okay, I'm going to leave this at contract and just proceed. Okay, so over here, I'm required to select a project manager. You would hopefully have them listed in your Rhino here. I'm just going to select my own name because I'm the project manager. And then this job is approved. Okay, the status, I'll click the drop down. It could be either voided or approved. Okay, so this is approved, which is why I'd be creating a job. Now, out of all these fields down here for customer billing information, you would want to fill all this in. It's not required for some reason, but also the billing contact, the name of the person. Now, it's important when you fill this out, of course, this is required field, but when you do, eventually when you start invoicing, it'll populate this person's name there. I'm going to fill that out and just show you. As I'm filling this out, of course, I'm going to fill out the phone number here for billing information also. That way, I'll have record of who to contact for this job. Again, if I were doing this, I would make sure that the delivery address is correct here for drop ship information. This is for shipping of materials, panels, and materials from your wholesale house. I'll scroll down further now. Again, I said this already, but you want to make sure that you know the name of the lender, the owner, and the general contractor here, okay? Now, let me scroll down further. Here's something that's important, okay? If you're a union company, or whether let me say it this way, if you're a union company or not, if you're required to provide certified payroll, you would set this at yes, okay? So here's the drop down. Now, again, certified payroll, you know, is government jobs when you're required to pay probably union prevailing wage, and you're required to pay you're required to certify the payroll. Okay, this is paperwork you'd have to fill out. Market recovery is a union term. If it's a market recovery job, you could tag it as yes, and a prevailing wage. Okay, so if it's required prevailing wage, you would tag it yes. This is just for your own information. Now I'll scroll down further. Again, we set these at best discount. You wouldn't change how these are populated likely. These populated from the proposal. Now I know this is a lot of information. Next, I'm just going to scroll up to the top, and when I'm complete, I just click the Save button right here. Now, if you forgot a required field, it would tell you so, and it'd make you fill out that field before it's saved. But here we see the job as created from a proposal, and this is what in the future I can create change orders for, and I can create invoicing for. I'm going to scroll back up to the top, and that's all for this video. In future videos, I'll also create training for change orders and for invoicing. Okay, so that's it for the jobs. Again, remember that you can get help here.